stream in OBS Studio, and by the end of this video you will be ready to press go live and start streaming with a webcam, your game, alerts, etc. Oh right, you will also get a free graphics pack, but more on that later. Now before even launching OBS, you want to right click it, go to properties, then go to advanced and enable run as administrator. This will prevent a bunch of possible issues. Then once you launched OBS, go to tools, auto configuration wizard, select optimize for streaming, click next. As your base canvas resolution, select 1080p and then keep this at prefer 60 when possible. Now click next, and then you will need to select your streaming platform. Now if you stream on Twitch or YouTube, you can just connect your account here, but if you stream on Facebook, you will need a stream key. To get your Facebook stream key, just create a new live. If you want to test things, then enable this and then click on create live video. Now click on streaming software here, and then here you will be able to copy your stream key. After that, you can just go back to OBS and paste the key here. Now no matter which platform you select, always make sure you enable estimate bitrate, click next, and then OBS will look for the best settings for your PC and your internet speed. Now while this is happening, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Owned Pro. Owned Pro is a plugin for OBS Studio that allows you to install both free and premium graphic packs with one single click. Just go to the first link in my description, click join for free, and then go through the setup process. Once installed, you will find it under tools Owned Pro. Now simply choose a layout you want, either one of the free ones on top or one of the many premium options you get when you subscribe, and then with one click the complete package will get installed and you're done. Again, the link will be in my description. And by now the setup has been finished. Just click on apply settings, and then now we can add our overlays, our webcam, our mic, and our alerts. The first thing to look at are the scenes and sources here. To add a new scene, you just click the plus icon, you give it a name like in game, then you click on OK, and the scenes you create on the left act like folders that hold the sources in the middle. So when we select in game, we can click on the plus icon in the sources, then choose game capture, click on OK, and then you'll need to change the mode to specific window and then select your game as the window here. Folders that hold the sources in the middle. So when we select in game, we can click on the plus icon in the sources, then choose game capture, click on OK, and then you'll need to change the mode to specific window and then select your game as the window here. For example, Overwatch, you click on OK, and then you just right click the game capture, go to transform, fit to screen. Now to add your webcam here, simply add a video capture device and then choose your webcam here. And now you can just make this smaller and reposition it where you want. If you hold Alt on your keyboard, you can cut off one of the sides here. This way you don't lose too much space of your game. Now to get the free graphics pack I mentioned, just go to my Discord server. I will add the link in the description. And then on the left you will see free stuff, Neon overlay pack. Now click this Google Drive link, and then on the top right click on the download button. Now go to your downloads, then unzip this folder, then go back to OBS Studio, click on the plus icon and choose image. Now click on browse here, go to where you unzip the folder. For me it's in the downloads, and then there's a bunch of graphics in here. For example, webcam borders, and then webcam border without name. Then you just click on OK, rescale it, reposition it, and then you will just need to make your webcam fit the border by rescaling it, repositioning it, and cutting off sides with Alt. By the way, also pay attention to the order of the sources here. If I drag my image below the webcam, then as you will see, my webcam will overlay the graphic because these work like layers, just like in Photoshop. All the graphics in this pack also come with Photoshop files, and you can edit them for free with photopia.com. Now to add a stinger transition, click on this drop down, click on add stinger, just click on OK, then click on browse here, go to the Neon pack we just downloaded, to stinger, and then open this file. Now change the transition point to 750 milliseconds, click on OK, and now when you change scenes on the left, there will be a smooth stinger transition. Now before doing the alerts, let's go to the settings here, then to audio, and make sure you add your microphone as your mic auxiliary device 1. For me it's this one, and as you see, it's being added in the audio mixer. In here you can change the volume of your PC sound, your game, etc., then of your microphone. Now to add your alerts, the quickest way is going to streamlabs.com, then logging in here on the top, choosing your platform, then on the left click on alert box, and then copy your link here with this button. Now go back to OBS Studio, click on the plus icon, choose browser, call it alerts, click on OK, and then replace this URL with the one we just copied. Now click on OK and all your alerts will appear within this red box. Let's quickly trigger a test event on the site. Let's click on test follow, and as you see, the alerts are working. Now this playlist here contains all my in-depth OBS tutorials, things like adding the whole neon pack step by step, adding custom alerts, making your mic better. I really recommend checking the guides here and then improving your stream step by step. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day.
Let me show you exactly how to use OBS Studio from scratch, and I'll cover everything you see once you set it up. There are some settings you need on your computer, so choose that. And I'll switch over here to my webcam to walk you through the rest of it. This is just a built-in web. Drag in the corners here and make sure it's not going to look right. So you want to grab the corner here and basically stretch this out to fill your window. Do the same thing with your webcam if you're choosing a webcam. Now, if you look down here, I haven't added a new scene. This is just a scene that was there by default, but I do have a video capture device. I could always turn this off and on this way. Okay. Now, let me show you how to add another source. So I'm going to press the plus sign, and this time I'm going to capture my screen as well. So this is a tutorial. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to capture my screen. I record a lot of tutorials this way. If I capture the screen, this is fine. I'm going to press OK. It's going to add another source. Now, my method is display capture. You could also do individual windows or applications. I'm going to just capture the whole screen here, and it's going to be the built-in display resolution, and you could show the cursor or not. I always choose to show it if I'm doing some kind of demonstration, and I could press OK right over here. Now, if it doesn't quite fit, sometimes it's going to be much, much bigger like this. You'll need to kind of drag in the corners here and make sure it fits this canvas. So these red lines are going to show you that it's going to fit the canvas like this. So now I'm behind here. So if I turn off the capture, I'm behind it, and this is on top of it. So if I wanted to put myself on top, I could grab myself and put it on the top here. So it becomes a top layer like this. Now the screen is behind me. The useful thing when you do that is you could do this thing called picture in picture. So you could shrink yourself down. You could put yourself right in the corner. It has this weird picture in picture effect because of the way I'm capturing the screen, but I could just turn this off right over here. So you get the idea. Basically that screen is going to show up in the background. Right now OBS is open, so that's what it's showing. And I'm here in the corner. So this is a useful double. Lot of tutorials, for example, gameplays will utilize an option like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn myself off too, because I want to show you audio mixer here. Now with audio mixer, you're going to have a couple of different options. You could go ahead and press the three dots here and go to properties. So the device here is the built-in microphone by default. This is one thing I recommend if you're doing this for any reason that is beyond just a hobby. Even if you're doing gameplays, you could get these USB microphones. So the one you hear right now is this one, Shure MV7. It's the one that you see on my screen capture. Let me just show you what it looks like. It's basically this kind of a USB mic, and it's just plugged in. It also has XLR and USB, so you could go to a sound mixer. But this one's going directly to my computer right now. So you could have something like that as your audio input. That's where you would change it under properties, because the built-in microphone on any computer just doesn't sound that great. So I recommend you check that out, and I'll link that below. You could get it from Amazon. So I would set that up next, and I'll show you some more audio settings once we get to the setting tab here. The scene transition we're gonna skip right now because I wanna show you scenes towards the end. Right now, we just could handle one scene with multiple different sources and fixing our audio. And then we could actually start streaming or start recording to our local computer here. Okay, so that was the basics of setting up multiple sources inside a scene, but we do have some settings. So I'll cover settings, then we'll come back and cover scenes, and then I'll show you studio mode and some really advanced options that's gonna really take this to the next level. Okay, so let's go to the settings tabs right here. Now inside of settings, the general tab, you pretty much don't need to change anything. I usually leave everything here on default. The only thing is if you're streaming, you could get a confirmation box when you stop streaming so it doesn't happen by accident, and you could get a confirmation box when the recording stopped too. I usually have just this one if I'm streaming. I don't want to accidentally turn that off. Same with starting a stream too, you may want to turn on. But under the stream tab here, this is very important because if you're streaming, you need to decide what platform obviously you're going to stream to. Typically I would do this to YouTube, but Twitch, Facebook, and if you show all, you'll see all these other platforms you could stream to as well. Okay, so I'll do YouTube because then I could show you exactly how it works. But if you were doing something like a Twitch, you could just connect your account here, and then they all require this thing called a stream key that I'll show you where to find. That is really easy to find. I'll show you here on YouTube. So we'll do this once we get to the streaming section. Right now, the output is also very important. This is related to streaming and recording, so you really need to see what's going on here. They do have advanced options that I don't recommend. With the simple option, you should be able to get what you need. Streaming bitrate is very important. By default, it's 2500. Most internet connections are going to be able to handle a 2500. But if you're doing something like a 1080p stream, I recommend somewhere between 5000 to 8000. And then after your first stream review, make sure it's not really having any kind of lag issues and it's streaming pretty well. Then you could stick with that. Anything over 8000 you don't really need unless in the future you want to do something like in the 4K streaming. But right now 720p or 1080p is where you want your stream to be. So I usually leave this around 5000. Audio bitrate I leave on default, but if you go higher, it's obviously going to have better quality. The encoder, I have just this option, but if you have a more advanced gaming setup, for example, you may want to choose something that is not software based and is hardware based. I don't have anything like that, so that's fine. And the encoder preset, I just have it on very fast, and that gets me what I need. But again, you do have other options depending on your speed of your computer. The recording, if you decide to record, this is not for streaming. I use this, for example, I'm recording right now. I'm using a different setup right now, but you would record. It would choose you a path here. So you can choose a desktop path, for example. So I could just save it to my desktop. The quality here, I usually have it on medium, but you could do large file sizes here that are the highest quality. You could even do lossless, but these get really, really huge. So I just usually do medium and they look fine. My videos usually are in medium file size when I use OBS. This option I do change. By default, it's on MKV. But MP4 is probably the most common and the one that's compatible with most devices, so I would choose it there. Everything else is the same here, and when you're good with this setup, just press apply. We do have a few more things here. Under the audio tab, Everything's fine here. I wouldn't change these two. But for desktop audio, if you want to record that, go ahead and choose the default. Don't leave this on disabled. That could record your desktop here. And for the mic, I showed you how to set it up in the other page. But again, by default, it's going to be the built-in microphone on your computer. So I recommend you change this to something like a USB microphone. There are plenty on the market. This is just the best I found for the price and quality. So it's not too expensive, but it's not some of the cheaper ones that don't have the quality that I'm looking for. And that's the two I change. And nothing else on this page I change. So everything's the same. Under video tab, now typically you want to change this to a canvas size based on your screen. So a lot of people have this on 1920 by 1080. And same thing as this option, 1920 by 1080. And as long as the resolution matches, nothing is required. But sometimes you could do 1280 by 720. So it's HD, the highest quality HD at 1920. That's 1080p. That's what you're going to be watching. But it's going to basically output, this is recording or streaming at a lower. Okay, so that's going to downscale basically. I usually try to keep them the same. So I'm going to go ahead and keep them the same. No downscaling required. Now your frame rate, for the most crisp quality, 60 frames is what you want. But for regular stuff like a tutorial, I'm going to do 30 frames. Now your hotkeys you may want to use. With hotkeys, you could assign shortcuts on your keyboard to all kinds of things, right? Starting and stopping stream. But this is where you may also want to get a device that has lots of this built in for easier use. So they make devices for streaming for this purpose. I'll put one on the screen here. So this kind of device you could again buy and connect to this setup if you're doing this all the time. So I'll link that below as part of the resources as well. You could change some of these default colors here. So under this tab, you could change some of these. And under the advanced tab, I also don't change anything here. There is one useful option here. If you get disconnected, it automatically reconnects. So that's enabled by default. So you actually don't even have to worry about changing that. So I'm going to press apply. That's all the settings that you need to really know about. So I'm going to press OK and come back over to my scene. Okay, now let's get to the more advanced stuff here with studio mode. So let me go over here and click studio mode. Now this is studio mode, so you get two different windows. So on one side you have the preview window. This is basically where you could queue things up to then go to the program window, which the program window is what the audience would see if you're streaming, for example, or what gets recorded. Okay, so you could transition from one to another. I'll show you that in a second. But in order to use studio mode, you need to set up another scene. Okay, so let's go over here, the scenes that we skipped. I'm gonna press the plus sign and I'm gonna set up another scene. Now let's say this is going to be a presentation. I'm gonna set that up, presentation, press OK. Now I have a presentation, it's gonna be blank, right? Because I don't have any sources. All my sources that I set up already are in the other scene. So in the presentation mode, what I could do is press the plus sign and I could add multiple different things again, right? So let me go ahead and add an image because I want to show you this really cool thing. I'm going to call this background. I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to go ahead to my desktop here and I have this really useful option that I downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and open it. I'll explain the sources where I get these kind of presentational assets and all kinds of different overlays that you could use. And now I'm going to go ahead and add a video source again. So that's under video capture device. Then that's going to be my webcam again. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to save that. And my device is going to be the FaceTime HD camera again. Okay. Now I'm going to press OK. This is the same thing we set up before. I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring this down, shrink this down. And I'll need to change the order. So if I bring the video behind that one, it has a transparency to it, so it fits like this. Now check this out. One more really cool thing. I'm going to select the video, and there's these things called filters. Let me click on one. With filters, you could apply these effect filters. Okay, check this out. I'm going to apply, for example, a crop. So if I crop this, I could basically fit this a little bit better. So I'm going to crop 300 from the left. I'm going to crop 300 from the right. I'm right in the center, makes this more of a square. Okay, I'm going to close this. And now, if I stretch myself a little bit, I could fit myself right in this box a lot better, right? So let's say I was having a conversation with someone else. Again, I could add their feed. Let's say they had a different camera set up for them and they would be over there, okay? And this is a Photoshop file, so I could open up Photoshop or get a free trial, and I could basically change these titles, or this is not my name, so I would need to change these inside of Photoshop. And then this just saw the Photoshop file. I didn't have to save it as a specific type of image. It has the transparency, so I could put myself behind a logo like this. But just to give you an idea where I got this, this is a platform called Envato Elements. And with Envato Elements, you could basically get all kinds of different overlays and other resources like stock videos. I'll show you one that I really like when I show you the transitions. And you could basically download these. They come with a bunch of different Photoshop or Figma. If I go down here, you could see Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe XD, Figma, or Sketch. You could get all kinds of different templates for those. And then you could save them as a JPEG image, or you just use the Photoshop file and you put it inside of OBS, exactly what I did on mine. And I'll go back to the other scene just to show you. I could also add these kind of overlays as an image. So I got another one here I'll show you. I'll choose my file, and this came with that bundle as well. So I could select this one, and you could see it shows up with the transparency, right? So I could also edit this in Photoshop, put my name, put my title. Really simple to use. I didn't have to design anything fancy, and this takes the production to the next level. And I could add another scene. Let me show you this other scene here. This is going to be my intro. So I'll go ahead and add that. And this time, I'm going to press the plus sign here, and I'm going to add a media source, okay? This could be a pre-made video. So I'm going to choose that, media source. I'm going to save that. And this time, I also downloaded this from Envato Elements. This is my MP4 file. Let me go ahead and press open on it. And this one, let me press play to show you what it looks like. This could basically start before I stream something, right? So this could be playing, and if I double click on this, I could actually loop this so it just keeps playing. And everything else I could leave the same, but there's some useful option here to take a look at. I'm gonna press OK. So this is going to be my scene, my intro scene. I have my presentation scene, and I have my screen capture scene, right? Different scenes, all with different sources. But now look, if I go to studio mode, this is my preview, and this is what I'm streaming once I press stream. I'll show you that in a second, the record. But what I could do is I could queue up, as long as this is selected, I could queue up my screen capture tutorial. Now, this is queued up, right? It's not live yet. This is what's live. But if I press transition here, it's going to cut from one to another, or transition from one to another, and then transition back. Cut could be just a straight cut without that kind of a nice fade. And fade is exactly what it sounds like. Now, these are where all your transitions in the scene are, right? So you could see that was based on a fade, but I could change it to a cut. I could change the duration, and I could add other ones, right? So if I wanted to add, for example, a swipe, I could add a swipe. Okay, so you could see swipe left to right. I'm going to press OK. So now if I change the transition here to swipe, and I press transition, you could see it's changed the transition. So when I'm live, actually, right, I could actually queue things up and then have other things playing live